Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a really unique and bespoke Dodge Challenger 392 that went across the auction block at Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale this week. If you haven't been reading Mopar Insiders, you should. On the January 22nd, on Wednesday, January 22nd, I actually posted an article about this car. It is Sergio Marchionne's personal 2011 Dodge Challenger SRT8 392. And the interesting thing is, it did go across the auction block a few years ago, where it fetched some pretty interesting money. It fetched $175,000, but this time it was going across the auction block with no reserve. And we know that values on modern Mopars have been kind of going down a little bit, but the interesting thing is the history of this car. So if you don't know who Sergio Marchionne is, you've probably been hiding under a rock for the last decade. In 2009. Chrysler Group was basically going bankrupt. He came in the last hour with Fiat and basically took over Chrysler's operations and fixed Chrysler up as its own thing, and then merged it with Fiat to become Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. The merger was such a success for Chrysler that it was amazing because it gave them security. They were able to pay back their loans way ahead of time. Sergio understood the car market here in North America and basically told the teams to start investing more, because for years the cars that Chrysler Group had pumped out were just stripped out because Daimler had siphoned all the money out, and Serbia that came over and took the company over basically didn't put any money into the cars. So there was a huge problem with the cars' interiors. Just quality was down, and the plants needed major updates. So what he did was he focused on doing all those things, and later he ended up giving the go-ahead to build things like the 5th-gen Viper. He went ahead and gave the green light for the Hellcat series and the Demon and all that stuff, and he was just an inspiration to everybody who worked with him. The interesting thing about Sergio was, if you ever see any pictures of him, he always wore his black sweater. Everybody asked him how many sweaters he had, because he always looked like the same exact black sweater, but he was a workaholic. He was on the board of 15 different companies. He was the CEO of not only Fiat Chrysler, but Ferrari, Magneti Marelli, I think he was, and then Comu. Just tons and tons of stuff. So the guy was a massive workaholic. It didn't matter if it was in Europe or here, he was always on the go. But everybody who worked for him respected him, and he expected a lot of them. So anyways, what happened was, when Dodge introduced the 2011 Dodge Challenger, the SRT8 model, they brought forth this brand new 6.4 liter Apache V8. And the SRT 392, obviously we know it because it's been in the Scat Pack models and stuff, but this was the very first car, not this specific one, but this was the very first year that this engine was put in the Challenger. So in order to kind of celebrate, Marchionne's success and stuff, they took one from Brampton. It was a pitch black car, and of course, because Sergio is a car enthusiast, it had to have a 6-speed manual transmission in it. But they took this car right from Brampton, took it to the Auburn Hills Design Studio, and basically the designers went to work on it, and they made it have a bespoke look. So at the time, they didn't have a black top package or anything for the cars. So they went to work and gave it kind of a dark tone. It already had pitch black paint, but they laid dark charcoal twin racing stripes down the car. And then on top of it, they mind you, they hand laid these. Then they took and clear coated the car. So it was all done at the design studio. They ended up going through, taking all the badging down the sides, the 392 badging, and blacking it out with satin black and gloss black outlines, something that hadn't been seen at the time. They took the 20 by 9 inch wheels and gave them a matte black finish, and then they actually tinted the taillights on the car as well. And then to make it even better inside, they went and gave it custom 392 HEMI seats. They also gave it a custom steering wheel. And then for performance, kind of give it some performance flair, they loaded it with basically the whole Mopar parts catalog for the 392. So we got a strut tower brace, cold air intake. It's got coilovers. It's actually been dropped 2 inches, and it's got a catback exhaust right from Mopar. So yeah, this car is a fully loaded car on top of it, so it's got every option on it. So it's very loaded. It's a very rare spec to begin with, but on top of it, it's got all this customized stuff right from the actual design studio. And then to make it even better, everybody in the design studio who worked on the car and the engineers all signed the car. So that was pretty cool. But anyways, Marchionne had it for a couple of, actually quite a few, I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 years. And he just didn't have time to drive it, so he ended up selling it. And it went for auction, and it achieved $175,000. And I think he donated some of it to charity and stuff, so that was kind of cool. But the car came up this week for auction, and it had no reserve on it. So that was kind of, different. I was really curious to see what it would go for. So I'm going to play the video of the actual auction. We're going to watch it, and then you can see how much Sergio Marchionne's Bespoke 2011 Dodge Challenger SRT8 with only 2,911 miles went for. So sit back and watch the auction.
3,000, Blake. Lot number 751.1 description changes the catalog title in transit for a 2011 Dodge Challenger SRT8, a one of one that was built for former President Chrysler Group Chairman and CEO Sergio Marchionne. It's got 470 horsepower. It's got a HEMI V8 power plant, 6-speed manual transmission, 2,900 miles, tremendous documentation, excellent provenance. $100,000, and now $100,000, 5, 10, and now $10,000, $50,000, 20 and 5, and now 25, thank you sir, 30, and now $30,000, 25, 30, and now $30,000, and now 25, $30,000, $30, and now $30,000, and now 25, $30,000, and now 25, $30,000, and now $30,000, about 30, $30,000, and now 30, now 5, and now 5, 40, 40, $40,000, and now 5, 50, and now 45, $50,000, $50,000, $50,000,
Folks, we got some real Chrysler history, as you know, here, being Sergio's car. But we also got an added bonus. Let this gentleman introduce himself and tell you what he did to this car and all the cars that we enjoyed today.
Thank you. So I was the chief designer of Dodge and SRT along with Ralph Gilles, and we did this car for Sergio Marchionne as a gift to him. I actually hand striped this car. This was a very special car. We did it within our design group in Auburn Hills as well. Our paint shop guys painted it. We all signed it under the hood. Sergio signed it. It was a great special moment for it. He loved the car very much.
An absolute piece of history, folks. Don't miss this. Where are you going to ever duplicate it? Here's an opportunity.
55, and now $50,000, and now $50,000, you're late, I'm going to be 5, roll away, I'm 5, and now $50,000, I'm going to be 60, and now 60, now 5, I'm going to be out, I'm going to be now $65,000, and now ticket to be 5 about, ticket to be 5 about, and I'm going to be $65,000, and now 5, I'm going to be $65,000, and now 5, I'm going to be 5, and now ticket to be 5 about, I'm going to be 5, I had Cody there.
Piece of Chrysler history right here.
And now two, and now two, about 60, now two, and now $60,000, now two, Cody, you gotta be 2, and now 62,000, Cody, you gotta be 2, and now 2, now $62,000, and now $60,000, and 2, now sold $60,000, Blake.
So Sergio's car sold for $60,000. That's it. It went for $175,000 the last time it was on the auction block, and with actual fees and stuff, it went out the door for $66,000. $66,000 for actually a really impressive piece of Chrysler history. So somebody got a really good deal on the car. Somebody's going to have an excellent piece to their collection. It's pretty amazing that this car went for that little. I was pretty shocked about that. And there you go. There's Sergio's signature right there. So, it's pretty sad, like I said, that this car went for so little. I was thinking it would go for more, but, oh well. I wish I would have been had the money to buy it It's not too far off of what I paid, you know, with taxes and everything on my 300C. So I would rather have this. But anyways, take and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.